Hi, everyone. I'm Kim.
And I'm Jasmine, and we're the hosts of the Gravediggers podcast, Letting the Dirt Fly. And we're back.
Hi, everybody. I hope you had a good week.
We are starting the day off with cookies because, it's been one of those kind of days.
Like the Albertsons cookies, the super soft ones.
Mm-hmm. And on display for everyone is my perfect Idaho peach wine. I'm super excited to open while camping this weekend.
But we'll have to tell you about how we got it a little bit later in the episode.
Later today.
Yeah.
Let's start about, we've been gone for about 2 weeks now.
It's because you had a crazy week last week.
I had a crazy week last week, and I'm still recovering.
Yeah, it was absolute mayhem. You should start with what went on there.
So my grandfather, who I wasn't close with, passed. I think I mentioned that. But so I had to go through the hoops of flying my mother in. My husband, my kids, and I took a 10-hour drive down to Las Vegas for the funeral. And, I was preparing for the worst. But honestly, it wasn't that bad. Yeah.
I would never have guessed. Like, putting 10 hours and children in the same sentence would be, like, not bad.
Well, especially with my kids, because they fight constantly. Like, I leave them in a room for 5 minutes, and they're arguing. And, like, thankfully, she brought her girls over, so, like, they would be entertained.
Mm-hmm.
But I put one in the second row and one in the third row, and they minded their own business for the most part. And I slept, and my husband drove, like, the whole 10 hours. He didn't even, like, wake me up or ask me to drive or anything. It was so sweet. I know.
He's like an angel coming down.
I know. I would, like, wake up mid-nap, and I'd be like, okay, I'm awake. And I start talking to him, and then, like, I felt like asleep, and I felt so terrible. But, like, he pushed it. He conquered through. So, shout out to you, Pumpkin.
Mm-hmm.
But it was good. I saw my mom, who I hadn't seen in a couple years, and my aunts, who I hadn't seen in, like, 15, 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it was nice. I met new uncles and aunts that I didn't know about.
You're like, oh, we're related.
Exactly. Yeah, it was funny. We show up, and my aunt, I was texting her. So we were all going to meet up for lunch, like, before the viewing. And she comes with some random man, and I was like, oh, maybe she's got a new boyfriend that she brought along. And it was my uncle. And I was like, oh. Oh, so I was like, hi, nice to meet you. But it turns out, in total, like, other than my mom, I have 10 other aunts and uncles.
Oh,
yeah,
that's a lot.
And I was only aware of 2. So I got 8 added, met 2 out of the 8. So yeah, it was quite a week.
Yeah.
Meeting a lot of new people, new faces, funeral for someone who I wasn't particularly close with. But I have to tell you, my grandma Katie, the story she told about his passing was just so sweet because she loved him so much. And it was just like her story just made me cry. So it was tender.
Oh, and like a bonding moment.
It was a bonding moment. So it was good. Yeah, it was good. My family actually wants to do like a family reunion one day. Yeah.
Aww.
I know. So I was like,
okay.
Sometimes, sadness can bring, like, it's like rain, after the storm comes the rainbow, So maybe there'd be something good out of this, because my mom hadn't seen her sisters in the same amount of time, like 15, 20 years.
Aww.
And she had always said that her dad said that something would bring them back together, and it was him. So it was really sweet. I'll cry again.
So sweet.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, and you're like on this spiritual like family thing, and I'm like, I'm just having epiphanies in my shower. Like,
yeah, well, tell me about your epiphany.
So I have been trying to figure out religion for myself. And I feel like I have just been going off of like what my parents' faith was. And then I went off of my husband's faith. Right. And now I'm like trying to figure out myself. And I had this epiphany in the shower. And I remember shouting out to my husband. I was like, Travis!
Figured it out.
Yeah. But like I had this moment where so many times I've been like thinking and like blaming the church for me wanting to be a stay-at-home mom. And that I was like, oh, it's like they only like raised us to be moms and mothers and have that like home and learn how to sew and cook and everything like that.
Yeah.
But then I realized that it is this social, like it was a social thing. It was everybody of that time and age. It was mom stayed at home, dads went to work, and usually a labor job, or like farming and everything like that.
Yeah.
And especially here in Idaho. Like
exactly. We weren't like
it was just
starting companies here.
No.
Well, maybe farming companies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I started a sugar beet farm.
Exactly,
Like that.
yeah.
That's about the extent of business growing.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, like, but now in this day and age, like we're teaching our daughters and everything, and we're teaching our kids how to like figure things out on their own and figure out what path they want to go on, because that's like what we've changed into and our society has changed into. But I can't blame my church and religion for how I was taught, because everybody was taught that
those
way.
values. Yeah, exactly. It's a culture thing. Well, I feel like it blended together at some point, obviously, because religion was a driving factor for a lot of those. What's the word for it? Preconceived notions or ideas about where women should be in life.
Yeah.
But over time, it's just something that became a part of our culture within all religions.
Yeah.
And like my daughter, she tells me, she's like, I don't want to have kids when I grow up. And my husband's always like, she's just 8. Like, she doesn't know what she's talking about. And it's like, yeah, that's true. She is 8 and she doesn't know what she's talking about. But if that's what she wants for her life, and like she decides to grow up, great. Like, get married and live a life that you want to live without kids. Like, be strong, be successful, and be independent. And like she tells me, she's like, I don't know if I want to get married or anything like that. She's like, it looks like a lot of work. And I'm like, what kind of picture have I given you about life? Because I think she just sees how tired and stressed I get, and maybe like that's not what she wants. But I don't know what I've done to her, but I've definitely set some precedents
Well,
that are the opposite of what you just said.
But at least like now you know, like you won't be one of those people that are like, when are you giving me grandbabies? When am I getting grandbabies?
Yeah.
Like I remember getting that from like all sides,
I'm
everywhere.
Sure. And you
so, like,
got married at 19, which is wild that they were pushing that on you so early. But again,
well,
Idaho.
It's true.
And that one would have to be reverted back to religion. Because if you go to other states, like I met some people in New York for work one time, and they're like, what is with you guys over there and having babies at like 20 years old? They're like, we don't have babies or get married till we're like 30s.
Okay. Well, except for our situation is different, because
Tell me about it.
okay, my system is backwards. So birth control actually makes me more susceptible to having babies.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, don't worry. This is not a regular thing for anyone that's like, oh, what? I'm like
just
that
Kim.
0.2% that they're like, oh, this birth control might not prevent babies.
Yeah, that's
no,
her.
it actually like makes me have kids. Where with our last one, we tried to have kids with no birth control, and then they were like, oh, wait, weren't you on birth control with your other 3? And so they put me on birth control, and I was pregnant the next month.
And now popped Hannah.
So I was like, where were we going with that?
No. Oh, we were talking about marrying young.
Yes.
And having kids young.
So me and my husband knew each other for a year and a half. Well, we dated for a year and a half. We knew each other for 2 years.
Because you were friends before you dated.
Uh-huh.
And that's,
And
I
so,
was
like-
telling my friend about your relationship side note. And I was like, they're like sickeningly perfect in a relationship. Like I can't go to her and vent about a problem I have with my husband because she just doesn't have problems with her husband.
No.
And then, like, I mentioned your story, and she's like, oh, that's why they're so perfect. They were friends before they got married. And I was like, that's what did it. Anyway.
It was.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Yep, that can do it. So, yeah. So us having babies young was not like a religion thing. It was, my system's off.
Oh.
And then us getting married was like, we were dating for a long time, and we were like, well, we are going to get married. Let's just make it sooner than later.
So did you get pregnant with Allie then before you got married?
No, I got... Okay. So we were planning on me getting
like,
my education before we had Allie.
Yeah.
And then I was like 3 months into our marriage. I was like, I feel like we should try for having a kid. And Travis was like, no. We already decided after your education. I was like, no. Like... I really feel like I feel it deep inside me that I need to have kids. And he's like, what is going on? And so then I took a pregnancy test, and I was already 8 weeks pregnant.
Wow.
And so I was like, oh, like that inner feeling. So then when it happened the second time, and I was like, I get that inner feeling, and he's like, take a test. and then I was pregnant. And that one I was like 12 weeks pregnant. So it was like good chunk. Like,
yeah, you were
I was like, I'm
it.
almost about to find the gender.
Seriously, like at that point, it's like, all right, you're having a whole ass baby.
Yeah. So
that's crazy.
Crazy, but
that is crazy. Anyway,
I guess on to our actual episode is we're gonna talk about my birthday.
She had a birthday last Saturday and turned the big 3 too.
Yeah.
Well, I'm still
that sounded like it was like an official like the big
like
numbers,
the big
like
number.
a 45
yeah, like
and like
40
and stuff
yeah,
like that.
your 50th anniversary. The
big
big 3
two.
The reason it's so big is because it's her. You know.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it's special.
So Jasmine like told my family beforehand, I am kidnapping her on her birthday. I get the whole day.
Yeah.
And my husband's like, oh, okay.
I know. I was like, are you okay with that?
But then, so I wake up in the morning and I was planning on going to the gym, but then I was like, screw it, it's my birthday.
Right.
So
Don't do that.
then I'm like cleaning my room and de-junking and I'm just in there, but I can hear the girls out there like cooking and everything. And so I didn't want to come out because I didn't want to ruin the surprise.
Right.
And so I was like, okay. And then I got on clothes. So then I was decent.
Presentable.
Yeah, that's a good thing to be.
Yeah. Sometimes.
And then the girls came in and they brought a blindfold. And I was like, you are going to run me into something because I do not trust my kids.
I wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't. So I put on the blindfold. I come out and you got to explain the spread because it was beautiful.
We'll post a pic. But first of all, I had nothing to do with it. Well, I guess I bought the decorations, but the girls set it up. So they got out the table and they put like this cute little tassel banner I had given them. The cupcakes that we had made together on the table, all of her presents. We put the balloons up. They had already like hung up the happy birthday banner. And the girls the night before had stolen them and they each did like a canvas painting for their mom. So the 3 canvas paintings were like sitting in front of the table.
And they are the cutest pictures.
They did so good. So creative. You have such good girls.
Oh, it was sweet.
It was sweet. So yeah, so they did all of that decor setup. I came and I had the balloons with me and that's all I did. Yeah.
I didn't even realize
They did so good. I know. I came in and I was like, oh my gosh, guys. Like, this is like a Jasmine party here. And I didn't even do it. Like, it was awesome. Yeah.
Oh, that makes me love it even more. I wish I had asked that.
You should have.
So
Well, yeah, I wonder why we didn't talk about that.
Yeah, I just figured because in the middle of the table was a clue for the day
activity.
And so I just figured that you had done it.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Okay, so then I got my first clue. And it's nice and sparkly and laminated because Jasmine's fantastic.
Little packing tape, you know.
Okay, so it says for your first activity, wear yoga pants because you may be put in an uncomfortable stance. And I read this to my mom when we like did a video chat in the morning, and she has this giggle that she does when something is inappropriate. And so when I read uncomfortable stance, she just did the giggle and I was like, Mom, come on, I'm going out with Jasmine, not with Travis.
Yeah, come on now.
Yeah.
Try not to better.
Yeah, it was so funny. So then in my head, I was like, okay, there's 2 things we've talked about. Uncomfortable stance. These are the 2 things. So one, it could be pole aerobics, which is basically pole dancing. But yeah. You were going to say strip tease.
I was going to say stripping.
Oh, stripping.
But I mean, like, close enough. You got the pole at some point.
Okay, so there was that. But I was like, okay, it has yoga pants, but no heels. But I was like, oh, she knows my shoe size. So
I could have just had the shoe ready.
Yeah, you didn't want to give it away. Because if you said heels and yoga pants, I'd be like, I know what we're doing.
We're definitely going to the dancing.
We're going to the strip club.
Yeah, we're going to the strip club, guys.
But then I was like, okay, there's also goat yoga. Is also something. And then also, she's been really into hiking lately. So true. I feel like...
Yeah, that could have been a thing.
Yeah. And I was like, there are some where you have to hit crazy stances to like get up.
Yeah.
The crevice.
That's a good idea for next time. Sorry.
But then... So we had the options.
We had the options, and then we got in the car, and it's like 35 minutes away, and our other friend was with us. And so we were just driving out into the country, and it was so pretty. And I passed the sign, and it's like, Kim starts to giggle because it says goat yoga.
And I was like, I've always wanted to do this.
And so we finally get there, and it was like the most amazing experience. Like I feel like it was so my half birthday is the same month as her actual birthday. Mm-hmm. So I felt like it was like a joint little birthday thing because I got maybe as much fun out of it as you did. There was this baby goat named Savior Rose, and she was so tiny and soft, like a little freaking baby. And we just cuddled her when we got there. The ladies were like, "Here, hold her."
And I was like, "Oh yeah, this is the good stuff."
It was released all the endorphins.
Mm-hmm. So as we like held it to our chest, and I have like this picture, and it's like pure joy on my face.
Yeah,
holding this goat.
It was so cute.
But so we're going through, and first of all, we get to know the goats.
Yeah. We got to feed them animal crackers, which was so cool. They were like,
and they hear the sound of animal crackers, and they all just like,
yeah.
And then there's like big ones that are like, oh, no, we're babies. Like, they think they're babies. And so they climb on you and hug you like they're little tiny goats. And it was the funniest thing. So then we're going, okay, we'll put our mats down, try to not go on goat poop, which actually there wasn't that much goat poop.
No, well, I thought they were berries. I thought there was blueberries out there that they were feeding them.
I think I just spit all over.
So I was like looking over next to my mat, and I was like, some blueberries got left out. And then we quickly realized those weren't blueberries. But no, it wasn't bad. So we start set up, and okay, so it was Kim, our other friend Ange in the middle, and then myself. And so, like, I had, like, looked over, and Kim was, like, being surrounded by goats. And I was like, what the hell? Like, what? Like, she has this magic aroma for goats. And I was like, you know what? It's her birthday.
I was like, Nama's goat.
Nama's goat. Yeah, come to me. And so, like, at one point, she was like bending over, and there was like a goat in between her legs while she was like full on like butt down.
Oh, except for that goat butt, like it was right where my face was, and I was like, please do not poop on my face.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
Please do not poop on my face.
Not on your birthday.
Not on my birthday.
Not on your birthday.
I'm lucky, but not that lucky.
Not that lucky. But the goats were adorable.
Yeah.
I wanted to take them home. Ferdinand was an a-hole.
No, yeah.
He was the mean goat.
That's what happened with the crazy situation.
Oh, is he what started it?
Yeah, because I was like hitting like a downward dog or like some kind of stance. And so I'm balanced there. And then one goat is like right by my side, all cuddled up. And then suddenly like one goat got very jealous. I think it was Ferdinand.
With the horns?
Mm-hmm. And headbutts the other goat. Well, that sends me flying. I like land almost on Ange, and she's laughing, I'm laughing, and the people in church are like, are you okay? And I'm like, no, I'm totally fine. I can't stop laughing. I am laughing so hard because a goat just plowed me
like
over.
Like, this is the experience we were looking for.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't worry about it.
By the way, for anyone that is on Patreon, you can see the actual video because Jasmine was kind enough
to record the whole
time. So all of our bloopers and craziness from goat yoga is up on there. So check us out. You can see it down below in the description.
Yeah. Especially when I was holding this cute baby goat and it like starts climbing over my back. I was like, this is what I came here
And then
for.
it like perches up on your shoulders.
It was so cute.
It's so good.
It was so much fun. And Ange got like one little baby goat was on top of her. I was holding the other. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you know what? I should probably get back to my yoga, you know? So I like let the goat down. And then like that one goes up on her. So she's got like 2 little baby goats on her. And it was because she had like this clip in her hair and they were trying to eat it. So I was like, next time we do goat yoga, put clips in the hair so the baby goats will, will climb on us. That's what we want.
Mm-hmm. We got tips for in the future.
We got tips for all you goat yoga and spirit people who have been inspired by a goat yoga story. I'm so tired.
Right. Oh, that's so good. But yeah, so then we get done with goat yoga.
That's right.
And then Jasmine hands me the next clue.
So it says, for your second activity, bring your appetite because the food is going to be dynamite. Ooh.
And I was like, okay, we'll figure this out. But we're in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. And so we're driving.
It's like a 40-minute drive back to this restaurant. And
and I am not paying attention. But then as soon as like we turn the corner, we're in downtown Boise. And as soon as we turn the corner, I was like, oh, I know exactly where we're going. But I was just like, okay, keep it a secret. It's totally fine. And then like we get down out of the parking garage. First of all, we change in the car.
Oh, yeah. We got to change outfits.
We got to look semi-nice for this night out. So then we come out of the parking garage and they're like, oh, do you know, our reservation isn't for 20 minutes. Do you know where, like, the CenturyLink Arena is? And I was like, yeah, it's right over there. I was like, I know this street like the back of my hand because my favorite restaurant is here. And they're like, what
a coincidence. Yeah. And then she starts talking about it, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. It'd be great to go there sometime, you know?
Because, okay, don't overcrowd them, but at the same time, they're amazing, so you can. Yoitomo. It's an all-you-can-eat sushi place here in Boise.
And it's really good sushi.
And it is good sushi.
Were the appetizers included in the all-you-can-eat? Oh, my gosh. I had no idea because I got the check, and I was like, this is way less than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, the escargot. What is...
Oh, the thing you made me eat.
Squid, but what's the name for
calamari.
Calamari. I was like, escargot is not. That's a snail.
Yeah.
But the calamari was so good because it was really thick. It wasn't like thin pieces, but the way they fried it, it wasn't like super gummy.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I like the taste, but like I've never been a fan of calamari because the texture, like it's yeah. So I like took a couple bites and I was like trying to get in my head, like I was trying to enjoy the taste, but like forget about the rest of it. And I ate one whole one and it was good.
I'm so impressed.
But I don't know if I would eat another just because of the whole like
texture.
Mind thing. I think that my mind held me back more than anything.
I get that.
And then we got edamame.
Oh yeah,
ugh, my favorite.
Which is so
like
good.
I could eat a whole bowl.
I felt like you drank soy sauce with that.
Yeah, you have to dip it in the soy sauce, and then you suck on the...
No. You were not dipping. You were, like, bathing.
Yeah, so you got to put one side, and then you got to flip it over, and you got to bathe the other side, you know? So it tastes good. Oh, it was so delicious.
But, yeah, so we were super full.
Like, pregnant belly full.
Oh, okay. I'm going to flash to the forward. We took pictures because we looked like we were two pregnant women.
Yeah, like 4 months pregnant is how we looked at that point. I was like, Kim, look, I look pregnant. And she's like, huh. And then she looks down and she's like, oh.
Like, I can't even suck this thing in.
You can't suck it in. It's just there at that point.
And, like, my personal trainer the next day, I was like, I had too much sushi. And they're like, yeah, you did. And I was like, it was delicious. So.
He noticed.
Yeah, he noticed. I was still full till like lunch the next day.
Oh, so. That's great. Yeah, I know. I wasn't really hungry at all after that. It was really fun. Okay, so we went to that sushi restaurant. We tried like, what did I get? It was like a pink sake or something like that.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Ange and I were like drinking. Felt really good at the end of the day.
And I had my little shot glass of water.
Ooh, okay, but like we have to... Rewind. I was about to say fast forward. So before our table was ready, we were walking around downtown.
Yeah. Okay.
And we had come upon the farmer's market. And oh my gosh.
It was so nice.
So nice. So they had like this little local wine stand that gave you samples, which was awesome. And so then that's where I got my booby wine. Idaho peaches, you know.
Your booby wine.
My booby wine, that's what I call it, you know. First of all, delicious. Second of all, it's going to be for mimosas while camping this weekend.
Oh, that will be fun.
But, I might need to steal some of your spice because it was delicious. Okay. That would be good on our burgers.
Yeah, so I got this Idaho spice, and it actually is the spice in a grinder, and it's really nice because this local company's like, we do free shipping on any refills of it. But the spice inside of it is like regular spices. So like onion, garlic, and everything, but it has jalapeno in there. And then when it was just the right amount of spice. And it was just on some grilled chicken. And I was like, this is freaking good. And I was like, I have to get this.
And so good. And it was like the smallest hint of jalapeno, but it's what like made the whole entire spice. Like it was so good. Yeah. So anyway, we're going to go do some more farmers markets and buy more local products because it was delicious.
Yeah.
So we had a whole afternoon full of fun.
Yeah, it's true. And so then let's fast forward and we went and ate. Oh, and then Ange got me the cutest gift.
Oh my gosh, we can't even pass that part.
I am not like I love giving gifts. It's really hard for me to receive gifts.
Yeah. That's why I didn't experience, because I was like, Kim's not a real big on.
Yeah, and so I was like, oh, but then she got me this blanket, and it's like the softest blanket I have ever felt, and it's super big, and like I actually have one that covers my whole body when I'm like laying down, so I can actually cuddle. Exactly. And I was like, oh, this is perfect. And then she got me these candles, and they have little stones in them. So like one of them has, what is it, rose quartz.
Yeah.
And so that is for like self-love.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, oh, and it just like has these like, oh, purple jade, and I don't remember what the third one, but I was just like, oh, like she just hit it on the dot. And I feel like I really want to be good friends with her. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, with that, I was like, how do you know me so well? Like all we see each other is at gymnastics, and yet you know me so well. And so it was just
so sweet.
It was really sweet of her.
It was so precious.
But then afterwards, so we had our food babies, and then I got the third one.
Third card. Okay, here, you can read it.
Okay, for your last activity, be ready for a deal. I think you might find something that may appeal. And I was like, I have no clue.
No,
like
no
the closest thing I could think of is deal, and I was like, I love Savers.
You do.
I do. I probably go there way too much. And Desert Industries.
And on the way to this secret place, she was like, we were talking about thrifting, and I was like, we should go thrifting together soon. And she's like, yeah, we should. Yeah. So then we go to Expo, Idaho, and we're standing in line, and I was like, there was like a bunch of cars and loud music. Oh,
and it was like souped up cars that are like bouncing, and it's like,
and I was like, what the, like I look at Kim and I was like, I'm not trying to take you to a car show right now, so let me just figure out what's going on.
And they're like $30 a ticket, $35 a ticket. Yeah. Oh, you got a premiere ticket that's $65 a ticket. And I was like, holy crap, what are we doing?
Like, I wasn't gonna spend $60 on entering what was supposed to be Idaho's largest garage sale. I was like, there's no way I'm spending $60 to get in here.
So when she asked them, I overheard everybody saying, oh, the garage sale's actually over there.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. Okay.
So basically, Idaho once a year, I think, gets together and like a bunch of vendors, like personal people, if you want to have like, if you want to sell like your own product, or if you just want to get shit out of your house, and you just pay like a $30 fee and you just post up your little tent. And so there's like 40 or 50 of these people just in this huge parking lot selling their secondhand items. And so we went like thrifting on like a huge scale.
Yeah. And so it was really nice because we already knew kind of what we wanted. We wanted some kind of bottle to hold our dirt that we talked about in the previous podcast.
Yep.
We also wanted like some kind of dress.
Yeah. Like a summer dress or something.
Yeah.
But okay, so when we first walked in, let me backstory this. A couple months ago, Kim, I told her, I was like, I want to go to Boise Music Festival this summer. And she's like, oh yeah, let's go. She's like, I can get us free tickets. And I was like, how do you get free tickets? And she's like, I don't know. I just enter contests every year and I get free tickets. So I was like, all right, whatever, Kim. Like, we'll see about these free tickets. So we walk into the garage sale, and the first booth we hit is a raffle for the Boise Music Festival tickets. Uh-huh. And so it's her birthday. She has this, you know what? Let's not talk about it. I don't want to jinx it. Uh-huh. So anyway, it's her birthday. She fills out the raffle, and as she's filling out the raffle, the guy hands her, and he's like, hey, do you just want a couple tickets now?
And I was like, yes. And I was like, actually, it's my birthday. That would be fantastic. Yeah. And they handed both me and Jasmine 2 tickets.
Yeah. And I was like, what in the actual fuck? Like, sorry for my language. But I was like, she told me she would get free tickets, and now we're getting free tickets. And I was like, I don't know what's happening, but the universe is just perfectly in line to make things work out for you or something. So
that's really nice.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh.
Get your chakras in line and all that stuff.
Yeah. And so I was like, that was the first time I've ever won a drawing before I even put my name in it.
Maybe it was the yoga. We had our chakras and our souls all mixed with the universe. Namaste. Oh, yeah. So that was like a first bang. So we paid $10 entrance fee and left with $180 worth of tickets.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
Started off good.
Yeah, it went really good. And then we were going through and I was like, oh, it's really nice because it's getting the end of the day. So people are going to start like selling stuff for a lot cheaper because they don't want to take their junk out of here. Like the less they have to haul. Well, when we started going around, then the wind started blowing. And it was like hats and scarves and clothes and lamps were like falling over and going all the way down the lane, and like, people are chasing their
within
stuff.
An instant. It's just like whoosh, everything just topples over. It felt like
It was crazy. We were holding lamps for this guy because we were like, we don't want these to blow over like that other one that blew over.
Yeah, exactly. It was crazy. And so we go, well, first of all, right before that, we had gone to a vendor and I had saw these cute little bottles with hands on them.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was like, this is a perfect graveyard dirt holder. I'll give a close-up picture in the posting.
Oh, yeah. And it's like super creepy because it has like this like wood hand that goes around it.
But then a butterfly at the top on the cap.
Is that a butterfly?
It looks like a butterfly. That's how I'm interpreting it. Sweet,
cool.
But it's because, like our graveyard dirt, it's supposed to offer protection, So it's a slight creepy with a graveyard, but then it's like a little flower, like a little butterfly, like something sweet to offer protection. I feel like butterflies are a symbol of protection, yeah?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Just making shit up now.
I love that so much.
Yeah. Anyway, so we had this conversation with the vendor who sold us this, and he was just talking about like kindness and how to live a good life. Mm-hmm. Like it was just
spread happiness.
Yeah, it was just spread happiness. The wind came, and so he's like, I gotta go. So that's when we start like spreading our own happiness, right? We're like holding this guy's like pulls down, like
grabbing hats, lifting up stuff that people are coming off their tables.
Exactly. So the wind dies down,
and we keep walking.
Yeah, we're like, that's not gonna like stop us from what we're trying to do.
Yeah, and then we come upon these racks, and the lady's like, everything's $1.
Yeah, she's like, if you're gonna shop in this wind, everything's $1. And I was like, deal.
Yeah, and so I'm so excited. I got what is it, a bomber jacket, but it's like brown leather, and then it has white fur on it. And then I got a black trench coat and a jean dress.
Oh yeah.
And so it was all, well, it would be $3.
It would be $3. And then I got like 4 different shirts. And so Kim was teaching me about how to bargain. Mm-hmm. And so it was $7, and I had $6 in cash plus a bunch of 20s I didn't want to break. So I was like, I have 6. Will you take 6? She's like, I'll take 6. And I was like, I did my first bargain.
It was so good.
It was so, well, actually, I tried to bargain earlier that day, but they declined. And so I was like, what do you do after that? So I just put it back on the rack. I was like, okay, bye.
I don't think they're going to sell it.
So sorry to you.
Especially if you can get I feel like you can get something like that for the same price they were selling it.
Exactly. Yeah, for the price that they were selling it, I don't think it was worth it.
No.
So we went on an adventure, and we got deals, and we went home with like an entire day full of activities, but we were wiped out. Yeah. I was exhausted.
Like we got to my house.
Yeah. And
we passed out on the couch.
We did. We took a good like an hour and a half to 2 hour nap.
Yeah. And when I woke up, she was gone.
Yeah.
Like I was on the couch, and I guess, what were we, hitting feet?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we were footsing.
I didn't even realize it. And I was, like, completely dead to the world. And then I woke up, and everybody was gone, and the sky was a little darker. And I was like, I don't know what happened, but it was nice. And then I went back to bed afterwards, and it was just so relaxing. And it was, like, the best thing ever. And I just got to spend it with you. And it was really nice because it also wasn't like super scheduled. We had our one scheduled event at the beginning of the day, but the others, we got to do it at our own pace.
Yeah, it was just casual.
Yeah, so it wasn't like I need a day to break after this. It was more of like, I actually feel rejuvenated after today.
Exactly. Yeah, that's how I felt, because I felt like I was just going all week long. And so that day was just like, I felt in tune with the yoga, like being with those animals just in the countryside was so refreshing. And then eating food and shop. Like, how do you have a more perfect day than that? Mm-hmm. It was great. Like that. And thanks Travis for letting me steal her for the whole entire day. Like, I feel bad. Next year I will do it on a separate day, but it just worked so perfectly with Goat Yoga having availability on their schedule that day. And I was like, it has to be done. Yeah. And then, of course, like, you love thrifting, and I see Idaho largest garage sale on that same day. It's like, how can I not?
Yeah, so it was like made for each other.
It was made for each other. So next year will be your day. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so now we have Call a Friend Corner. And this is where people email questions. And we got our first emailed question. The first one was, how long have we been friends for? And when did we know that we were best friends?
Oh, okay. That's a good question. So we've been friends since last February,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yeah, I think February was when I first invited her into my house.
Yeah. And we knew we were best friends at the Halloween party. So it took a good, 10 minus 2, 8 months?
Yeah. Of like us being crazy and having crazy schedules and not seeing each other that much.
Yeah, I think that was how it was meant to be, because we, like, that Halloween party was where our friendship instantly connected, because it was like, you know, like, we dressed up and we were both weird and quirky, and like that was when we knew that like it was a perfect match. And after that Halloween party, I was like, I think like this is the one. Like, this is the one.
This is the one. This is my best friend.
Yeah, and that was what did it. It was instant after that. And it was funny because like I would go home and just rave and rant about Kim to my husband, and she would do the same thing. And at some point, I think they got tired about hearing about the other person.
Like, hey babe, do you want to go on a date night where we only talk about us?
Yeah. And I could just see Chance like zoning out, and I'm like, I know you're tired. I'm sorry. So that's the thing about like friendships, is I always thought if I would find that sister, it would click instantly from the beginning. And to be honest, it didn't click instantly from that first meeting. But it took like that certain, what do you call it?
Event?
Yeah. It took that moment for us to like really bond and find that connection, that what made us whole together, I guess.
That's good.
Yeah.
So if you guys have any other like questions or stories or comments or all of the above, you are welcome to email us, and we'll have our email down in this description.
That's right.
And then we can address it at the very end. And then we also do give out a little treat for anyone that does send any questions that we do highlight at the end of our podcast.
Yeah. And remember, this podcast is a conversation, and this conversation needs you.
And we'll catch you guys next time. Thank you for listening to the Gravediggers podcast.
We are your best friends, Jasmine
and Kim.
Please subscribe and find us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at gravediggers.j as in Jasmine,
K as in Kim.
And look for us on Patreon, where we give exclusive content, seasonal gifts, and early access to those that help us provide this content.
Till next time, don't be afraid to dig in the mud
and get a little dirty.